Hi, Susan here from itsmysustainablelife.com. Thanks for joining me today on a very brisk, bright, but very cold February day. I am here. I am going to be disinfecting and sanitizing my seedling trays right here, of which I did not do last fall before I put them away. So it happens. Ideally, you want to make sure you put all your gardening equipment, all your supplies and tools and everything away, cleaned and disinfected. That way you can be sure that you're not transferring any disease or fungal issues or pests or anything like that. So I didn't do that last fall. So now I'm doing it on a cold day. So unfortunately, I don't have the luxury of having a greenhouse or live in a climate where I can be doing this outside at this time of year. So my process of doing this is going to look different from yours, obviously, especially if you do have access to any of those things. And if you do, I'm very jealous. But anyway, I make do. So I am going to be utilizing my sink, my tub, all of that in order to get the process done. So as you can see from my seedling trays, they're dirty. I didn't take the time to clean out the cells once I planted from last year, which you really should do. I didn't. I'm a kind of a lazy gardener and I just didn't get to it. So anyway, before you seed in any new seedlings, you really want to sanitize them. So what's the importance of doing that? Really, it's sometimes the difference between a healthy, thriving seedling that grows strong and one that eventually dies from what's called damping off. So a lot of bacteria, a lot of fungus, molds, things like that can be left in there from, like you can see, plant material and so forth from the previous year. So to begin, I take a large gardening bucket. You can see I didn't even clean that from last year. And I go ahead and I give it a good tap into a bucket to help remove any of that debris that's left in there. Once that's done, you have a couple options. You can either use a brush. For me, I'll use the brush in the larger things like my trays, or for the smaller things, if you don't have a small enough brush, you can just use a rag and make sure you wipe out each individual cell, dumping it back into the bucket to get rid of any debris. So once I have all of my trays debris removed from both the inside, the outer edges, as much as I can, I take a cloth and I just wipe everything off. You can see there's a little bit up there. But make sure you do both the inside and the outside as well as the underneath. I will show you why. So I've actually wiped all these down, or thought I had. And you can actually see in this one, can you see it right in there? Some little hidey-hoos. I think it's actually kind of like a little piece of plant material or something like that. You really want to make sure and remove as much of that debris as you possibly can before you go ahead and wash them. Once I've done that to everything, I just go ahead and I fill a bucket filled with hot soapy water. I'll go ahead and I'll thoroughly wash these both inside and out, rinse them, and then I'll go ahead and lay them out here on the towel to somewhat dry a little bit before I go ahead and sanitize them. Once I have them thoroughly rinsed, I'm going to lay them out on a towel, which I just laid out on my floor here, and I'm going to let them dry completely. They'll be ready to go ahead and seed in. So there you go, how I sanitize my seed trays when I don't have access to some beautiful greenhouse spaces or the outdoors. So thanks for joining me here on itsmysustainablelife.com. Make sure you ring that bell and subscribe, and I appreciate you watching.